I know you said that there's like barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
As a woman.
And we don't
pushing the goalposts, bruh. Pushing the goalposts, man. We're talking about feminism, men and women. Pearl out here holding them accountable, girl. She doing a fucking thug dizzle.
Woman.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
Why can't you answer as a woman?
Kind of.
I think feminism is attempting to say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman. What it ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a black woman and being a black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further. You have more barriers, you have more friction, you are less able to get what you want. You're undervalued in a way that's like, okay, well, you know, that's life. That's what I mean by equity, and that we're able to, without friction, all get the same needs met.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that. I think life is easier if you're a girl, actually.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted. And so
they call me ugly on the internet all the time.
Victim
They be roasting me daily. I swear to God.
I don't mean to say I think you're gorge. I just mean that there is a certain value that we give to certain bodies.
I mean, let's also dig into why these quotas exist and why.
What does that have to do with feminism, though? We're talking about men and women. Men and women, right? We have values for different types of people. Pushing the goalposts. We're talking about men and women. Men and women. Pearl keeping it thugging. She keeping it thugging. Let's get it.
Why these, what you're calling
because
privileges
we want
exist.
special treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer women, and because of sexism.
How is it sexism when we have no barriers today? So we can pick
has
what
no
we want to
barriers?
pick.
It
doesn't have barriers.
Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want.
I can
you?
or you can?
What's stopping you?
Women.
As a woman.
As a woman.
As a woman.
See, that ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I said before, I'm speaking about women. I'm not.
You're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as an
able-bodied white woman.
I
That is
understand.
Which is the topic of
course, there's going to be
conversation.
other barriers if you're disabled. I'm sure. Like I'm talking about as a woman.
So you're just going to
agree.
ignore
White
the
women have
Talk
it
that
easier,
shit.
yes. I would agree.
What?
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
pay gap has been proven and
the pay gap doesn't
endlessly,
exist.
my friend.
It doesn't.
That's so
It's
funny.
the industries that women pick.
Let's talk about it.
There's a pay gap, but it's because women don't want to do the hardest industries.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's an oversimplification. I think the fact of the matter is that women structure their lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't
Sydney's fire too.
have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism. And then also, actually, Department of Labor, all statistics, at least.
There's no having a conversation with someone like that. When you don't take accountability for your own actions, the reason why I chose the job that I want because society forced me to. Society forced you to be an OnlyFans model. Society forced you to work at the bank. It's just a cop-out excuse. Like, we can't prove that the gender pay gap exists. It's been debunked. So what can we do now to make it benefit us or to play victim? Well, no, we're not going to take accountability for our own actions. We're going to say that society somehow forced us to make the decisions that we made. As far as career choices, come on, man, you do what you're interested in. It's already Hey man, y'all know, bro. Girls do different shit than men. It's a cop out. It's a cop out.
All statistics, at least speaking in the U.S., have found that when compared for the same jobs, there still is a pay gap, particularly when it pertains to race.
Because 60% of women have never asked for a raise. So how can you complain about your pay if you don't ask for it?
Why are they not asking?
Wait, what happens when women ask for a raise?
Push the goalposts. Why are they not asking? Push the goalposts, man. But where the hell is that stat at, bro? Where the hell is that stat at, dog? She talking out her ass, man. It's illegal to pay men and women different based upon their sex. And most jobs have a set salary. It doesn't matter what the fuck you are. You could be a damn goose out here going to get the job. You're going to be paid X amount for working this occupation. Other jobs that you can and ask for different fucking salaries and shit. That's a minority of occupations, bro. What is she talking about?
Sorry, I've been wanting to say something, but I want to be respectful. I don't want to interrupt people, and I want to let them finish their thoughts.
Jump in, just
but you know,
go
it's
through the
just,
wall.
it is a very privileged label, right, to be able to say that you're feminist, right? And I say that because I come from a working class background of Dominican immigrant parents. My mother would not necessarily identify as a feminist. I look to my mother, and I do think of her as a feminist. A lot of my ideas and my empowerment comes from seeing her like survive and put food on the table. When I'm thinking about feminism, I'm always thinking about who's not part of the conversation. What are the barriers? How do we think about equity? How do we think about self-empowerment and agency and having a voice, right, and having choice? And thinking about our basic human rights, education, access to health, homes, like having bread, having food, and those things are very important, right? And they're at the crux, right, of what a lot of us here know that we need. It's like there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore that are very much systemic and microaggressive, right? We see them and experience them every day.
Like what in the U.S.?
So,
like what?
What would you like to know an example of?
I know you said that there's like barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
As a woman.
And we don't.
Pushing the goalposts, bruh. Pushing the goalposts, man. We're talking about feminism, men and women. First it was disability, now it's the color of your skin. Pearl out here holding them accountable, girl. She doing a fucking thug dizzle.
Woman.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
Why can't you answer as a woman?
Kind of hostile when you're like.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
I just feel like your question is kind of hostile when you're like, there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction, and that's showing, and I feel like it's
I think
like
as an American, you're very privileged. Hearing the term equity, what would a world that has equity look like? Like, would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be like prison, 50%?
That's equality.
50%. So what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been arguing for equality, but what does that give us? Like 0.5 of the 1% being women. This doesn't really do anything for us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just.
What barriers? What barriers? What barriers, bro? They talking in these generalizations, bro. What barriers? Systematic barriers. What barriers?
For women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Those barriers that you don't believe in.
What does it do for you to have a bunch of ramps in your life? It doesn't do shit. I need those ramps, right?
Can we stick to male versus female?
Facts.
That's my question. So I'm thinking male versus female.
But my feminism includes ability and includes
my
race.
question is
You
for
guys
women.
can talk.
They can't answer the question. They literally cannot answer the question. These pro-feminists cannot answer the question. Every time they push the goalposts. What barriers? You mean as a woman or a black woman? What barriers? You mean a woman or a woman with disability? What barriers? Well, I have a ramp. You don't have a ramp. What does any of that got to do with being a woman? They can't answer the question. All they do is attack. I feel that you're being really hostile by saying that you don't have that you don't what she say? I feel like you're being hostile to ignore the barriers. You know what I'm saying? You have a bunch of privilege because you don't go through what the fuck I go through. Come on, man. Crying victim, bro. That's why this feminism shit is a bunch of bullshit.
As men, like what barriers do we need removed? Because that's my statement. I'm not stating anything else. I'm stating women versus men.
It's very silly.
Like, so what barrier? I just want
They can't answer the question.
So, yeah, but I'm
It's
saying,
not a fair question. It's
how is it
hostile.
not a fair
It's
question?
kind of proving the point of what people, especially Black women, other people who are anybody who's not white, why we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means, I'm just gonna say, it means that. Like, it means that you've already gone into a pinnacle of whatever you think your happiness needs or whatever your survivalist needs are, when there are people on lower end who are trying to survive, who are trying to get to a point of what should be normal.
Victim card. Victim card. They're not answering the question. If you feel this strongly about whatever it is, you should be able to provide examples. They can't do it. They can't do it. And they're gonna demonize Pearl because they think that she's sitting here speaking from some white privilege viewpoint. That's not at all the case. She's just saying, what privileges don't you have that men have? What barriers are in your way that are not in men's way? And no one can answer her question. But they're gonna play victim and attack Pearl and cast her as, Miss White Privilege, bro. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Based on what other people have.
It sort of sounds like you're saying feminism is not always inclusive then.
Right.
It's most of the time it's not inclusive. It's more times than not, it's not. So, and within the just feminism space, again, there obviously the very basic is male versus female versus, but unfortunately, we've only had one subset of women be the face and voice and the academics and research and everything to be able to say, well, that's the standard we need to be in, when there are other people who are still—
It's very ironic that you got a Black girl sitting here saying all this shit when what demographic of female is graduating from college in the highest rate right now? Black women. Like, it's like you just want something to cry about. It sounds like any struggle you come into, you're going to use sexism as the crutch. You know what I mean? Same thing as pulling a black card. You use black card as the crutch when you run into trials and tribulations. I'm not able to do this because I'm a woman. I'm not being able to do this because I'm Black. There's a bunch of bullshit. No one's taking any accountability, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about your disability, granted, but don't say anything about that has nothing to do with feminism. I mean, everybody with disabilities are going to go through what the fuck you're going through, regardless of their sex. It's just, Pearl was holding it down, dog, against all these motherfuckers. I'm surprised Sydney ain't step in and say some shit.
trying to get to some
Pearl
type
on all the
of
smoke.
normalcy and just living.
She asked, what does equity look like? What does equality look like? No one could answer the question. What do y'all want it to look like? What would need to happen in order to make y'all feel better? No one said anything. That's all you need to know from this shit.
Biggest issue then that feminism faces?
I think it's the mindset. Women taking the agency, women taking initiative. I think it's mindset holding them back a lot, because if you want to be in a competitive world and compete, you have to have the right mindset.
Facts.
And I think a lot of people blame their lack of confidence or what society tells them for the reason that they're not achieving what they need to achieve, when that's not the case. You have to have the mindset of achieving, because the men who built the world had the mindset of building it. So the women who want to engage and build that further, they need to have that same mindset.
Facts.
I don't think we do. I think that's like assuming that we all want to be capitalist babies.
Right.
I think that men are not well adjusted in the society and women are not trying to re-embody what they have built for us. I think that what we're forgetting is a very important detail, which is just human respect and dignity.
Yeah,
and not asking.
This is a headache. I'm good on this, bro. Everybody's talking around each other, man. It's like you need to have a flat line definition of what feminism is and then engage that. Everybody has their own interpretation of what it is, so everyone's talking past each other. This is a waste of time. I'm not going to waste another 30 minutes of my life. Well, a lot longer than that, because this video is damn near 50 minutes long, and I'm sitting here going to be banging my fucking head in the wall because no one talking about nothing. Pearl is the only one, speaking facts. Speaking facts is logically speaking facts. Everybody else is crying.